Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. Boy, do I have a doozy for you today. A diddly doodly, whatever Ava says. Um, welcome. Glad to see y'all here today. Our house guests are Blake Murphy, Anthony, Madrid, Miguel, and Rick. Much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. And thank you to all of you for watching with us this season. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun chatting about everything with you guys, talking about all the hot gas. So if you want to be house guest of the day, it's free. Just send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we will get you on the list. Just make sure you put in the subject for the email either house guest of the day or HGOTD, and let us know your name that you want me to read in the email. Okay, so we have so much to get into. Oh my God, it's been a day. So when we left off yesterday, it was Waffle Wednesday. Yum, yum, yum. Amy, Kelly, and Zay are up on the block. And the votes were very much not solidified at the time for any of the potential scenarios. We're looking at very close votes with all of the scenarios at that point. Amy still seemed the safest out of the three, but the nominees still have one more chance to come off the block tonight with the BB Blockbuster. So I'm excited to see what is in store for them with that competition, because they always have such interesting ones to make it fair for everybody. So I love seeing what they come up with. But anyway, Kelly was still up to her shenanigans yesterday. She was saying nobody's going to take a shot at Rachel. It's week 1, and Rachel was safe this week. Like, there's definitely going to be people wanting to take a shot at Rachel. She also was saying she feels like Rachel has all the girls wrapped around her finger, which I was like thinking about it more, and this could not be less true. Everybody assumes that Ashley and Amy are super tight with Rachel, but Ashley and Amy have both been running wild the last few days. They were considering voting against Rachel's and their best wishes and keeping Zay this week, which really wouldn't make sense for them. They were like, oh, well, Zay is coming after Rachel, not us, and we need to do what's best for our games. But if they're targeting Rachel, chances are Rachel's closest allies are going to go up on the block next to her. So, yeah, they were doing their own thing. Rachel's working well with Morgan and Mickey for sure, but they are smart. They are their own people. They are not wrapped around her finger. Lauren and Catherine are not close to Rachel at all. I feel like I barely see them talking. Ava, they're friendly, but I don't really see them being close on a game level. So yeah, I wouldn't say that she has all the girls wrapped around her finger. And yet, the rumors of a potential girls' alliance, those rumors have been swirling. It happens every season. I mean, we come to expect it, right? Meanwhile, there is a whole ass fully formed guys' alliance, solidified and named the Burger Boys. It's Zay, Zach, Riley, Will, and Vince, right? But like, nobody cares about that. And the guys are all like, well, we can't have the girls working together. It's not fair. It's not right. But so, yeah, that's a thing. But Kelly is obsessing over Rachel. She's trying to make sure nobody trusts Rachel, even if it means that Kelly's going to be leaving this week. I think she should focus more of her attention on campaigning to stay. But that's just my opinion. Speaking of campaigning, lots of campaigning attention was being placed on potential swing votes like Lauren and Catherine, right? Trying to lock in those last votes. Morgan was talking a lot to both of them the last few days, pushing for Zay to go. Morgan has really been going to bat for Amy this week, so I hope she appreciates that. But Catherine appears to be on board with voting Zay out. Lauren, it was unclear, right, yesterday, because we've seen her talk about not only wanting to like keep Zay around, but wanting to work with both Zay and Zach. So she was a little bit more on the fence in the whole situation. But Ava also had a game talk with Lauren, and Ava's telling Lauren, obviously you have to do what's best for your game, right? It doesn't matter what other people are doing. But she says, for me personally, if it's Kelly versus Amy on the block, I'm keeping Amy. Ava says, America would think she's crazy if she kept Kelly over Amy. Because she feels like Amy is going to be kind of predictable in this game. She feels like she knows how Amy is going to play. Kelly, who knows, right? I mean, like, she volunteered to go up on the block this week. That's erratic gameplay, right? You cannot predict what someone like that is going to do. She also feels like Zay versus Amy would be the scarier vote for her because she doesn't want to be on the wrong side of that vote. She wants to vote for Zay to go. But if other people are not on that same page with her and Zay ends up staying, she doesn't want him targeting her because Zay has been telling everybody that if he stays and he wins HOH, he would put up people that did not vote for him to stay. So Ava says she's leaning towards keeping Amy, even if it is Amy versus Zay, because again, America would think that they're all effing idiots. This is her wording. If they keep Zay over Amy, she says he's so smart, he's so strong, he's a stronger competitor. And Lauren says, I get that, but she says she is terrified of Rachel. She figures Amy is a number for Rachel, which is true, except like just judging off of Amy's conversations the last few days, again, I could see Amy potentially being swayed to go against Rachel at some point. Also, you're so worried about Amy being a number for Rachel. How many numbers do the bros have? Of course, Rachel is a returning player, and you would not want to let her get too close to the end. But I feel like if you are one of these ladies, you need to address the bro alliance situation before you look at Rachel. That's just my opinion. But Jimmy also checked in with both Lauren and Catherine, and he's reassuring them the votes will be there to take out Zay. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't think that you're going to be alone in doing that. Or if it's Kelly versus Amy on the block, don't be afraid to vote out Kelly. So what are they going to do? That's the big question, right? They've got a lot of people telling them different things. Lauren was saying that she would be making her decision by the end of the night. She did, in fact, do that. So we will get to that later. But Amy was also out on the campaign trail. Everybody knows that these votes are extremely close this week. There could potentially even be a tie. So Amy checks in with Vince, the HOH, in the HOH room because he would be the one breaking the tie. So Amy lets him know, if there's a tie and you break it in my favor, all is forgiven between you and me. I would not put you up on the block if I win HOH. We would be square. So Vinny is like, cool, tight. He is hoping that they've already started to rebuild that trust with him putting Kelly up as the replacement nominee this week. Sure, that's why you did it, to rebuild trust with Amy, not because you thought this was going to be some baller move when Kelly volunteered. He also says, I think you would stay in potentially a landslide against Kelly. And again, that would be against Vince's wishes. He does not want Amy to stay, but he's realizing it's kind of inevitable against Kelly. People are not vibing with Kelly. So even though he wants Kelly to stay, he knows that's probably not happening. But he does say to Amy, if you're up on the block against Zay, that vote's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be potentially a tie. So Amy tells Vince, again, if you keep me in a tie, we're good. I'm not coming after you. She says she would even be down to work with him, right? Not even the neutral thing. She wants to work with him. And Vince is like, oh yeah, I'd love to work with you too. I know you're close to Rachel. I'd love to work with her. And then he starts talking about how he feels like Rachel doesn't care as much this season, like about winning. He feels like she's here for fun and for entertainment reasons. She didn't just leave her family for fun. She's here for the money. And don't you mistake that. But they talk about also working with Jimmy and Morgan. So, I mean, the way that this potential alliance is shaping up, it would basically be like the heavy hitters minus a few, so it's kind of like the light hitters, I guess. I don't know. But a little later, Vince checks in with his number one, Jimmy. And I put that in quotes because he has a lot of number ones. It's hard to call any of them number ones because there can only be one number one, right? But anyway, Jimmy is one of his number ones. So Vince spills that Kelly did in fact volunteer to go up because she thought that she would have the votes to stay this week. And Jimmy confirms she does not. She does not have the votes to stay unless she's up against Zay. Then it's looking pretty good for her. It's just funny to me that Vince confirmed about Kelly volunteering to go up because there's this rumor that's been circulating that she volunteered. She keeps going around and denying it, but now her number one, the HOH who put her up, is confirming yes, she did volunteer. And I also have to mention there is now a second rumor about her circulating that she is going to throw the Big Brother Blockbuster challenge or competition, which she did consider and talk through multiple times. Like she has talked about it a bunch, but she's acting like it came out of nowhere. So I feel like Kelly is like starting these rumors about herself basically, and then she is also going around to a bunch of people being like, "Oh my god, I keep hearing that people are saying I'm going to throw the competition and that's crazy." So she's also like spreading the rumors, and I don't know if she's just looking for the attention or what, but anyway, Vince tells Jimmy about the deal that Amy offered. Again, if he were to save her in a tiebreaker, she promises she would not nominate him if she wins HOH. And Vince wants to know from Jimmy, do you think Amy would honor that? Is that something that I should go through with if the situation arises? And Jimmy thinks that she would. He thinks that Amy would follow through. So yeah, in other news, the house guests all dressed up a little bit last night and had a family dinner to celebrate Will's wedding anniversary. Yay, happy anniversary. And it was so sweet because I saw his family posted online a picture of his wife holding like a plate of food next to the TV where they were all having dinner. It was so beautiful. I loved it. But it wasn't all good vibes in the house last night. Okay, so this isn't even like the big thing. Ava has had enough of Keanu's shit. She was venting to Jimmy in the storage room, and she was talking about how apparently Keanu like touched her leg or something. I don't know the context of this. I did not personally see the leg touching moment, but she was not happy about it. And Jimmy agrees that that was out of pocket. So I don't know what happened there, but that's not cool. So I hope if it becomes a bigger issue, hopefully Big Brother will step in and say something. But Ava says this is not just a boundaries thing. She hates the way that Keanu talks down to her all the time. She says he thinks I'm stupid and that he can just run my life. And she says, I need him out of this GD house. Yeah, I feel like they were very kind to him in the edit last night because I have heard so many people say similar things about Keanu, about how crazy he's driving everybody. And I mean, we've seen it ourselves on the live feeds, right? He's a lot. But after dinner, Vince is back to the game. He's making the rounds, trying to figure out what he should do if there is a tie between Zay and Amy. That would mean that Kelly won the Blockbuster competition, which, of course, anybody could win that competition. So it's totally within the realm of possibility. But his head is going to explode thinking about the possibility of having to break a tie between Zay and Amy. So he's talking to Riley about this, and this is weird because I thought Riley didn't talk game. Apparently he does now. But Vince is really worried about having to draw a line in the sand, which he would definitely be doing if he has to break a tie. So he says, if I vote out Amy, Rachel and the girls are going to be pissed at me. If I vote out Zay, the guys are going to be pissed at me. It's a classic guys versus girls. Yay. So Vince and Riley agree that if it's up to them, they would rather keep Zay. What a surprise. But Vince is afraid of those consequences. So he really wants to make sure if he's going to break a tie in Zay's favor, he wants to make sure that everybody who is on that side who wants Zay to stay will have his back moving forward. Meaning, like, if they win HOH, keep Vince off the block. Or if somebody from the other side wins HOH and he goes up, either win the veto and use it on him or vote for him to stay. So he just really wants some reassurances that he's going to be good. So Riley agrees. He's like, absolutely, like, that all makes sense. And then Riley's talking about how Rachel has to go next. Boo! He's also talking about how badly he wants Keanu out. So I don't know where they stand in his list of who he wants out, but he's still really pissed that Keanu called him a floater a few days ago. Move on. Okay, so Vince also checked in with Morgan, and he's asking her, what do I do if it's a tie? And as expected, Morgan is advocating for Amy to stay and for Zay to go. And this is what she's been saying for days. This is not anything new. But she tells Vince, like Amy said, if you keep Amy, you will have a clean slate with her. You will be good. She also argues if Amy is still in the house, she's going to be an easy option for people to nominate moving forward. So that's one less nominee that could potentially be you, right? So Vince is like, yeah, I guess I don't know. He shares his ideal situation, what he wants to happen tonight. In his ideal world, Zay would win the Blockbuster challenge or competition. I keep saying challenge. No. And then says it would be Amy versus Kelly, and he thinks that Amy would stay in a landslide. Now, again, he doesn't actually want Amy to stay, but he's talking to Morgan here, and he knows that that's what she's looking for. But I do feel like if he loses Kelly, he's not going to be that upset. I feel like he would be way more upset about losing Zay than Kelly. He's basically ready to throw Kelly in the garbage. It's wild. So, in other news, another alliance that was in the works has officially been solidified. So we've already been talking about this one coming together, but it's Ava, Will, Adrian, Zach, Vince, and Lauren. So they all meet up in the HOH room, except for Vinny, which is funny because it's his room. He does join them eventually, but he wasn't there from the beginning. So Ava came up with the name The Bond, as in James Bond. You know, she loves the 60s. So she comes up with roles for each person in the alliance. It's one of those. And she just cracks me up. Like, everything that she says is just, it's great. Entertainment. Wonderful. She says Will is the mastermind that knows everything. Adrian is the hacker because he knows a lot of stuff. I guess he knows a lot of stuff, but not everything. She said Zach is the spy that has the nice smile. I guess he's like the actual James Bond. She says Lauren and her, Ava, are twin go-go dancers, and they're like the liaisons for everybody else. And she said Vinny is the villain that got good again. Did he get good again? We'll see. That remains to be seen. But everybody's locked in. They're all excited. I don't know what the hierarchy is of alliances for some of these people are in multiple alliances at this point. I mean, Zach is in a bunch. Vince is in a freaking million. Will is in quite a few. Will has gotten pulled into quite a few at this point. So I don't know where these all rank for them, but I guess we'll find out at some point, right? I guess it also depends on who's in power any given week. But this group does talk a bit about the vote and what they're going to do, and they are not on the same page. This group will not be voting together this week. Ava has made it very clear that she is keeping Amy in any scenario this week. Will and Zach really want to keep Zay. They are in that bros alliance with him. And Adrian wants to keep Kelly. He has already promised Kelly his vote. What a mess. What a mess this is. Thomas had never seen such a mess. But, okay, now we have to talk about Riley and Catherine. So in last night's episode, they had that little Showmance segment about the two of them. And I had not seen anything like that happening with them on the feeds before that clip aired. And then last night, I saw something. I was like, what is this? I was very confused when I saw it on the episode, but now I saw this on the feeds and I was like, blah. But last night, Riley and Catherine were talking, and he was telling Catherine he really wants to work with her. And he's like, we can be effing dangerous together. We can go far. And he tells her, you're not going anywhere. We can go all the way in this game. And she's like, I agree. Girl, no! So he's like, you know what? I don't care what anyone else thinks. I gotta let you know, like, I effing dig you. And I'm gonna do whatever you want. If you're in a situation where you're on the block, I'm gonna win the veto and I'm gonna save you. And he's like, I don't want the money. I want you to have it. I never thought I would come into this house and like want someone else to win. And he's like, I want to watch you win. No, it's weird. The vibes are so weird. And especially like knowing what we know about what's going on outside with him, like what? And Catherine tells him she feels the same. And at first I think she's saying like, I feel the same way about me winning. Like she wants to win, but then she says she would be happy to see him win. What is this? Is this like a Caleb and Amber BB16 situation? Or is she into him? Is she into him? If that's the case, someone needs to freaking drag her away from him because we can't have this. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. Zay was still out on the campaign trail last night, and honestly, it was just like, it was too much. I was in another situation where I didn't feel like switching the feeds because it was going to be a hassle. But I do have to mention, somebody left a tip the other day, which I really appreciated. And they were talking about how if you click down, like the down button on the remote, they have like a section that shows what's live right now on the app, on the Paramount Plus app. And I was able to switch feeds without being kicked out of the show and having to like go back in. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot easier. So if you guys want to try that, it worked for me. I'm hoping it'll work for you guys too. So yeah, maybe I won't have to listen to some of these torturous conversations for quite so long again. That was Odell Chic. Thank you so much, Odell. Like it really, really helped. Okay, so Zay was talking a mile a minute to Ashley, and I was exhausted just listening to this. You could tell from this conversation that he is a salesman. Like he was relentless. He was all like, what can I say to like sweeten the pot and get you to like, what can I say to get you in this car tonight? You know what I mean? Like he was going for it. So he kept repeating his pitch over and over, but basically it boiled down to, you could always vote to keep me and not tell anybody it was you. So basically, vote to keep me in secret. Rachel and Amy don't have to know. So he says he thinks that he has the votes to stay even without her vote, but her vote would make him feel a lot more comfortable. I feel like this is a tactic, right? To be like, I don't need your vote, but it'd be nice. And basically saying like, if you don't vote for me to stay, you're going to be on the wrong side of the votes. So yeah, he's also saying if I know I have your vote, I will be more confident and more comfortable going into this next HOH competition. Well, we don't want that. But Amy, he says Amy might be sad for a few days if you vote her out. Obviously, she's going to find out when she watches the show. But are you here to make friends, or are you here to make Big Brother? To play Big Brother. It kind of kills me anytime he is trying to like school people on the game of Big Brother, because apparently like a big majority of his research about the show was just like asking ChatGPT about it. Like I remember him saying, he was talking to, I want to say Keanu about this, how the only season that he watched was last season, and then he watched the first episode only of a few other seasons just to see what the intro packages were like for the house guests, because they were probably like, you need to watch this so you know what to expect when we get to your house. But yeah, and then he said the rest of his research was just like asking ChatGPT about it. I can't. So anyway, he's telling Ashley, we will secretly have this thing together. We can play both sides of the house and protect each other on our own like respective sides. And he's like, I don't want to pressure you, but I am going to need a guarantee from you at some point tonight if this is something you want to do. No. And Ashley tells him she is 90% down, but needs a little time to decide if she's a full 100%. Ashley, what? What is this, please? Like, what are you doing? Stop it. All right, we're going to check back in on that situation in a little bit. But later, Vince and Lauren have a game chat. And Vince says, all right, I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told anyone yet. So please don't share this, because if I hear it come back, like, I'm going to know it's you because you're the only person I'm telling. And Lauren's like, don't worry. Whatever you're about to tell me, I'm not going to tell anybody, because you are actually my number one in this game. What? Where did this come from? Since when is Vince Lauren's number one? Really? So Vince says, Rachel effing yelled at me. He said, it's going to make an episode. It's going to be on the episode. I think the time has come and gone of when they would have shown that, because he's saying that this happened the night before the POV ceremony. So unless they do some sort of flashback, we're not seeing this. But he says, Rachel, she stood up and she yelled at me. She told me that I'm having the worst HOH in history and that I look like an idiot, and that if I send Amy home, I'll regret it. I'm going to be embarrassed, and that America will laugh at me. Did she say all that? Dang, girl. But he says she's using intimidating tactics, and he brings up how he was like bullied in high school. And of course, that's terrible. It's awful. Nobody should be bullied like that. But also, like, is he implying that Rachel Riley bullied him on this season 27 of Big Brother USA? Come on, bullied you? No. So then he says, like, she wasn't screaming at me, but she stood up and she spoke at an elevated octave. Not to be a music nerd right now, except I'm going to be, because music deserves to be nerded about. But an octave is like the pitch, right? It's not the volume. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he meant like she was all like, oh, Vince, you can't do this. But yeah, I think he also said like she had a higher tone. Like, I don't know. I think he was trying to say it was a louder volume. But Lauren's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I'm so sorry. Like, when was this? He says it was the night before nominations, or the POV ceremony. It was the night before that. So it's possible that this conversation happened before the live feeds came on, because that is when the feed started for us. But maybe it was before the on button. I don't know. But we have not seen this. So I don't know if she was actually an elevated octave yelling at him or what. But anyway, he says she wanted me to put up Kelly, and you did. Like, don't blame Rachel for the mess that you got yourself into. Just because she said she wanted you to do that, or she thought you should do that, doesn't mean you had to do that. You put your own number one ally on the block, and now she might be leaving. So don't be putting that on Rachel. And yeah, anyway, Bowie. Later in the conversation, Lauren and Vince shake on a final two deal. How many does Vince have now? Because, like, he's got quite a few final twos at this point. He's got to have at least, like, 3 or 4 besides Lauren, right? The numbers are rising. But later, we got some major drama. I need a sip of water before this. Okay. So, Keanu and Zay. Hi. Keanu and Zay were talking outside about Rachel. Also, okay, wait, back up. Rachel and Keanu were talking in one of the lounges, and I couldn't find even a transcript, let alone a video of this anywhere. I did not see this live, but they were having some sort of conversation in one of the lounges, and Keanu was like, I didn't expect that I was going to have to make, like, an alliance week 1. Like, is that crazy? Like, should I have to do that? And Rachel's just like, what are you talking about? So they were definitely, like, rehashing some stuff. I'm going to assume it had to do with how Rachel was telling Keanu a few days ago, look, leading up to that POV ceremony, Zay was telling everybody everything you were saying. And he was trying to rally support for you to go up on the block. Again, this was all true, what Rachel was saying. Zay was absolutely 100% doing that. But he doesn't want to believe that his boy would do that to him. So I'm pretty sure that's what they were talking about. At the end of the conversation, I did see quite a few video clips, just short video clips of this. You know, Keanu's like always asking for hugs and looking for hugs. So Rachel does give him a hug, but she's freaking rolling her eyes over his shoulder. It was epic. So after that, Keanu and Zay are talking outside about Rachel and like that whole conversation. And Rachel comes over and she asks them, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And they're like, "Okay, well, we were just, going over the conversation that you just had." And they're talking about how Rachel told Keanu that Zay was spilling info from him and trying to get him nominated. Again, this was true. So Rachel says, "Okay, Zay, you said that Keanu said that I wasn't trustworthy and that Morgan and Jimmy are snakes." And Zay is denying this. He's like, "I didn't do that. I haven't told any lies in this house." What? Yeah, you did that. So then Rachel brings up how Zay said to her face, she says it happened on day 2, that he would put her up on the block if he won HOH. Zay is denying this. He's like, "I don't remember saying that. I may have said it like as a joke, but it wasn't for real." So Zay says, "I've made it very clear that if I win HOH, I'm going to put up people who didn't vote for me this week." And he tells her, "I see that you're very close to Amy. I know that you're voting for her to stay. So yes, you would be in that pool. I would potentially put you up on the block." So he's like, "I think you're a great mom. I think you're a great person, a great wife, and I think you're cool. But game-wise, it makes sense for me to put up people that voted for me." So, I mean, which is fair, but also, like, he's saying he would put her up. So I'm like, So he's like, "I'm going to be going for HOH." And Rachel says, "I am too." So Rachel tells him, "You should be careful coming for the queen because you're going to get beheaded." There she is. There's our Rachel Riley. So she goes inside and Zay is just like, "I'm going to get beheaded. Like, what?" So then he follows her in a few minutes later and he's trying to talk to her again. And now there's like a bunch of other people around, right? There's a bunch of people in the house seeing all this happen, hearing all this happen. So he's trying to talk to her again. And she's like, "Game on." And he's like, "Game on." And then he tells her as she's walking away, "As long as I'm in this house, you won't be the first 2-time Big Brother winner." Actually, he said, "You're not going to win this game 2 times in a row." And he's like, "Oh, wait. Not 2 times in a row. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to win twice." So she says, "Do you need a mommy? Because you're acting like a child." Do you guys think she's been sitting on that one? I do feel like from what we've seen from her conversations with Jimmy, she does have a few lines that she's been practicing, and maybe that was one of her points. But like, it applies here. So she's like, "If you want to act like a child and come for me, I hope you can back it up. And if you're going to come for me, wait until I'm in a gown." She did get a bunch of her gowns back from production last night now that they've been camera tested, and I'm excited to see the fashion show. But anyway, at this point, they're both kind of like telling some of the other people around what's going on, because if they're just walking into this, they're like, "What is this? Like, why is this happening?" So Zay was still upstairs. Rachel was downstairs, and he's like, "Oh, like, I told her that she's not going to be the first winner." And Rachel's telling people, "I said he needs a mommy." So then when Zay hears her saying that, he kind of like says down from the balcony, "Well, I'm not the one blowing things up." And Rachel's like, "Who's screaming across balconies, honey?" And she says, "It's okay, sweetie. Mommy will make you a sandwich later." Oh, she's also asking him, like, "Do you want some sleepy time tea? Do you want a warm glass of milk?" Oh, the idea of like a warm glass of milk is disgusting. But anyway, he's like, "Oh yeah, I would like that, actually. I would like it." So Zay says, "I'm not going to personally attack you back because I'm on a higher level now." And he says, "Game is game, personal is personal." On a higher level? I mean, he was definitely upstairs, but a higher level, I don't know about that. So eventually he gets her to agree to go to the storage room to talk privately. And he's like, "All right, I'd never said that you were my target, but of course, there's a chance that I would put you up. And he's like, wouldn't you do the same thing if you were in my position? Like, isn't that smart gameplay? He's like, I'm genuinely asking, like, isn't that good gameplay? And she's like, oh, I'm going to put you up and get you out of this house. Ah! So Zay again is saying, like, I didn't say you were my target at all. You're trying to play a victim mentality. And Rachel tells him, I'm not the victim. You're about to be the victim when you go home. Make it happen, queen. Okay. So Zay's like, I feel like I can't have an adult conversation with you. He's definitely trying to, like, flip it around and make it seem like she's a child, but Rachel handled herself very well in this whole ordeal. She was very calm throughout this thing. Zay is repeating the same crap over and over again about how it makes sense for his game to potentially put her up. He's like, it's not personal. He says, you tried to pit me and Keanu against each other. I mean, did she try to take advantage of things that actually happened? Yes. But again, he did do those things and spread that information. But he says, I don't go around spreading gossip. Oh, yes, he does, because he spent the rest of the night doing retells of the fight. And this morning. So another quick highlight from last night. Keanu at one point went up to Rachel. I think it was like out by the hot tub. And he told her, like, that was all wildly unnecessary. He wasn't calling you a liar. And she's just like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not in this. Like, just stop. So later, he comes to her again. He's like, can we hug it out? And he gets upset when she refuses. She's like, no, you can have a fist bump. Like, we'll talk about this another time. The guys this season are really weird. Like, as there's a few okay ones, but like as a whole, just really weird vibes from these dudes. So this morning, lots more retells of the Rachel and Zay drama. Jimmy could not believe that he missed it. He didn't see it. Will was asleep during it. So like they all had to get updated on that. We got some more voting confirmations. This is important. So Ashley told the cameras, I guess she had told Zay this morning, like, yeah, you're good. I got you. But then she told the cameras, I told my first lie in the Big Brother house. She said there's no way she's voting out Amy. And she just like restored my hope in her because Ashley was making me freaking nervous going into this. So yeah, he does not have her vote. Also, Lauren did declare last night that she will be voting to keep Amy in either situation. Like if Amy is on the block, she is keeping Amy. I'm really wondering if the whole Zay Rachel thing really like turned her off to the whole Zay situation. She didn't want to be a part of that. I don't blame her. I could see that. So yeah, she says she's keeping Amy. So as of now, it looks like Amy is safe in all scenarios. Obviously, if she wins the blockbuster, she's safe. Against Zay, safe. Against Kelly, safe. Unless something crazy happens. Kelly would go home against Amy. Zay goes home if he doesn't win the blockbuster, because it looks like he would go home against either Kelly or Amy at this point. So should be a fun night. It's going to be wild. I mean, the way things stand now, we're either going to be saying goodbye to Kelly, who volunteered to go up on the block week 1 on her allies HOH, or it's going to be Zay, who is Zay. So it should be a fun night. But I want to know from you guys, who do you want to win this next HOH? There's so many potential options. I'm team Fun Feeds, of course. That being said, I don't know if I would survive a Kelly or Keanu HOH. I just don't know that I could do it. So maybe not them. I don't know. It would be for the ages though. But it would be a lot of fun to see like Rachel, Morgan, Mickey, Ava, any of them win. I'd be curious to see what would happen. But anyway, that's that. I do want to give a special thanks to all of our super chatters. Let's see who we got today. All right, let me just switch this so I can see you guys. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay, so True Teddy, thank you so much for the super chat. And they said, Zay is my preseason winner pick. Oh, no. And he is bringing the drama and actually campaigns hard. I'd rather he stay tonight for the sake of fun feeds. I will say he does a lot. Like, he keeps things interesting. I've had enough at this point, especially with like him saying the R word the other night. And then I saw him bragging today, being like, oh, if I wasn't on TV, I would have gone so hard in that conversation with Rachel. Like, I would have said so much worse. But like, he made it a point to say, like, I couldn't do that because I know what you say on here sticks with you for the rest of your life. So, dude, what were you gonna say to her? So yeah, I'm not for him, but I support your opinion. So thank you again. Thank you for the super chat. Sunflower Seeds, thank you so much. I love that little hippo sticker. That's adorable. Connor Benson, thank you so much. Connor says Zay and Keanu gotta go and take Kelly with you. And maybe, just maybe, Lauren will wake up and start making moves that benefit her and not her group. Yeah, I feel like she has a lot of potential. I'm just worried about her like falling in with the wrong crowd, which sounds crazy. But yeah, I just don't want to see her like getting brigaded down the line, like working with the Bro Alliance and then being out like 5th or 6th place or whatever, and all those guys are left. I don't know. So I hope she doesn't have that kind of run in this game, but we'll see. K-Diggs too, thank you so much. K-Diggs says, please, house guests, get Jimmy out of the house next. No! I'm enjoying Jimmy so far. He's a little bit chaotic, but I think he is smart in this game, so I want to see what he would do, even with some power. Jimmy HOH will be wild. Connor Benson, thank you so much again. Connor says, and one more thing, Vince needs to use his beanie to soak up his tears from his own poor decisions. Yeah, he needs to take some accountability for what he's done this week because this HOH was a mess. It was super messy. Benjamin, thank you so much. Benjamin says, I have a bad feeling Adrian is going to just sheep Zach the whole season. Sheep Zach the whole season. I don't know why he would want Zay to stay over Kelly other than Zach wanting him to. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. He's giving Bowie Jane / not Vivek. Oh my God, Vivek vibes. I see what you're saying now, how he would just like do what Zach wants. That's another thing. I feel like Adrian, like Lauren, has a lot of potential and he clearly loves this game. But he does need to realize that what's best for Zach's game is not going to be best for his game. And there are a lot of people available to work with that I think would have a better impact on his game. I love seeing Adrian with Ava. I think they're such a fun duo. I love seeing Adrian, Ava, and Will together. So if they could just like cut out Zach, that'd be great. Yes, I see. So thank you, Benjamin. I really appreciate your support. Sean Davis, thank you so much. Sean Davis says, happy eviction day. Woo! Can't believe we're here. Zay is really annoying and Ava is a star. Amen. Every time I see Ashley on the feeds, all I see is Hannah. They look so alike. They do look alike, and I feel like they have a lot of the same mannerisms and just like general vibes. But I feel like, I don't know, Ashley made me really nervous this first week. Like super nervous. I mean, I don't know if she was just doing all that for show or what, but like, I don't know if I remember Hannah clowning that much. We'll see. Thank you again. Kristen Gem, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, so generous. Kristen is always so generous with the super chats. She says, so happy to be back for yet another season with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate you. And we're happy to have you here. William Dang, thank you so much. Shout out to Canada. William says, I'm so happy to see you and Janet back. We're happy that you're here. And he says, this first eviction is the most interesting chaotic vote in a long time. It is interesting because how often do we get a split vote like this in week 1? Right? I mean, usually like in a lot of the recent seasons, the first few weeks at least have been either unanimous or close to unanimous. So this is very exciting to see a split like this, and even just to see people willing to vote differently than the rest of their like alliance. That is very encouraging, and I hope that we get to see more of that throughout the season. I hope they're not just gonna like fall into line after this week. I hope it stays chaotic like this. And William Dang again. William says also Ava is mother. Yes, locked for fan favorite. She is such a blast. I just feel like she's so authentic to herself and she's not trying to like fit a mold. So it's very refreshing on a show like this to see somebody like that. So we love Ava. Okay, so I'm going to call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back tonight for the episode recap. So we hope you'll join us for that. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.